Thank you. Nancy Jackson.
Here.
Ryan Jones.
Here.
Anthea Martin is not here, but I do have her proxy. James Martinez.
Here.
Ryan Moses.
I have Ryan Moses proxy, James Martinez.
Perfect. Candace Payne.
Here.
I'm Vice Chair LaDawn Sperling. Monique Terpstra. Great, we have a quorum. Thanks, everyone. So first on our agenda is the approval of the July 2025 meeting votes. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion by Candace to approve those July 25 meeting votes, please.
Great, thank you. And a second. It looks like Monique is trying to second. I can't hear her, but we'll say second by Monique. All in favor say aye or hand raise.
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, motion passes. Next, I'm turning it over to Tyler for the director's comments and budget updates. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you, and really excited to be here. And thank you again for all of your service to the state. Really appreciate each of the board members and their work. And I know it's a full schedule, so I will be very quick and brief as much as I can. And just wanted to really say that I'm extremely excited and honored to be taking on the role of the Director of Housing and Director of the Division of Housing. It's really a terrific team to be a part of, and it's a great board to be able to participate in as well. So really excited for the ongoing work between us all, especially for communities across the state. Just as a little background, I'm coming from about 4.5 years of leading federal funds work, both on the implementation side, as well as protecting federal funds within the governor's office. But before that, had done quite a bit in housing, everything from working in New York City government on zoning, housing and homelessness, to coming back to Colorado to really build out the social impact bond initiative, which supported kind of formerly homeless individuals in the Denver area for a long time. So really excited to be back in this space, being able to work on incredible projects and really move Colorado forward in a lot of ways. So excited to join everyone in that effort. On just the update side, as everyone is probably paying attention, the federal government is still shut down. So we are continuing to monitor that and monitor it with our delegation and others to continue to get updates where we can. We are tracking funding across many different areas, including kind of new NOFAs that are coming out, and if there's any changing terms that will happen. A lot of that is on pause because the federal government largely is on furlough. But at this time, I think we just wanted to assure people that we're not seeing any impacts directly right now to our GAP funding awards, and especially anything coming from our state sources. If the kind of shutdown does prolong, we'll keep everyone up to date if anything is happening, especially related to home, HTF, CDBG. So nothing to report necessarily right now. So that's no news is good news, I guess, in that front, but we'll keep you updated moving forward. So again, just really want to say I'm really excited to step into this role and really build on a lot of the collaboration that's happening across the state, these terrific projects that we're seeing across the board, and really building off of the foundation that's been key to the Division of Housing moving forward. So excited to join you all today, excited to further conversations directly with state board members, and would love to continue the connection after this, but excited to have everyone dive into the rest of the agenda today.
Great, thanks so much, Tyler. Do any board members have questions for Tyler? Okay, we will move on to the project applications. So our first project application is 101 West Main Street, and James Russell will present that to us.
Hello, State Housing Board. Can you all hear me okay?
We can.
Excellent. It's a pleasure to be in front of you all today and to kick off this round of projects. My name is James Russell, and I'm the Western Slope Housing Development Specialist. And today I'm introducing 101 West Main. 101 West Main is a 52-unit affordable housing project located on a property adjacent to Frisco's main downtown and commercial hub area, developed by the NHP Foundation. The NHP Foundation is a national organization that has developed over 18,000 units nationally and has been working with the town for over 2 years to bring the project back to life, or project to life. Excitingly, this will be the town of Frisco's first low-income housing tax credit project. 101 West Main is seeking $2 million in construction costs to help build a modern, affordable housing development designed to achieve Zero Energy Ready Homes certification. The site currently has an existing building that will be demolished as part of the project, and the team will be following Uniform Relocation Act standards to relocate the existing and past commercial tenants. To further bring this project to fruition, the town of Frisco established a new local housing authority for tax exemption and launched a development incentive program to aid in the increasing density for the project site. Staff recommends $2 million in HDG funds for the construction of these 52 affordable housing units in downtown Frisco. The project was underwritten by Sasha Neal, and the asset manager on this project is Brittany Thigpen. It is a pleasure to introduce Lauren and Brett with the NHP Foundation to talk a little bit about this project. Lauren, Brett, please take it away.
Sure. Thanks, James. Hi, I'm Brett Ruby, Senior Development Manager with the NHP Foundation. I won't get into a repetition of our organization's stats, as James already mentioned that, but we are a nonprofit housing provider and developer founded in 1989, and our mission is to create and sustain high-quality housing where residents take the lead in shaping their lives and strengthening their communities. We're really excited about this project because we think it really fits with one of our goals, which is pioneering innovative projects. We've done everything from standard LIHTC projects to a project in Baltimore, Hollander Ridge, that was a scattered site, single family rental housing development of over 100 units. And then two totally permanent supportive housing developments in Houston that totaled over 200 units. In terms of this project, though, I did want to focus in on a couple things. The first is what we see as an extraordinary commitment from the town. They have a real need for affordable housing, and they've shown that with their support. They've presented an extraordinary financial commitment to the project through various loans and grants. And they've also leveraged our project to establish their affordable housing development incentive program to increase our allowable density by 500%. And things to consider on this project that I want to kind of get out in front of. The first is what we understand to be a significant or high land cost. And that's because I think we all know land is limited in these mountain communities. This is a downtown Frisco site infill project, so it's an excellent location, but land is limited. And so this, we took the opportunity to acquire an existing office building, but with that comes the high land cost and the requirement to relocate these commercial tenants in accordance with the URA. The other thing I want to address is hard costs. Construction in the mountains, as everybody knows, is quite expensive, but we're doing the best we can to mitigate that through the town's financial commitment, which again is in our view extraordinary, and then also working with our OAC team to keep an eye on pricing impacts, tariffs, and these crazy times, as well as using the project we currently have under construction, a middle income project of approximately the same size as 101 down the street, 602 Galena, using that as a comp to monitor in real time construction costs as it gets built. And so anyway, thanks so much, James, and thank you all for your consideration, and happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? Doesn't seem like it. Thanks so much, Brett.
Thank you.
Okay, the next project application is the Crossing Apartments, and Evan Samora will be introducing it.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here today to introduce another phase of the Crossing development. My name is Evan Samora. I'm the Housing Development Specialist for South Central Colorado. The Chaffee Housing Authority is requesting $1.6 million in HDG funding to support the construction of the Crossing Apartments, which is a 33-unit rental project serving households between 30 and 100% AMI. The Crossing is the second phase of a subdivision. The Crossing Apartments is a second phase of a subdivision called The Crossing, which is planned to be a mixed income development located in the northern end of Buena Vista. The Crossing Apartments was underwritten by Ashley Hertzler. And with us today is Janai Stokesbury, the real estate projects manager for the Chaffee Housing Authority, and Paul Andrews, the managing member of Crossman's Development LTD, the developer of The Crossing. I will pass this to Janai.
Thank you, Evan. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks very much for considering the Crossing Apartments today. The Chaffee Housing Authority serves Chaffee County here in the heart of Colorado, and this project is a vital part of our growing permanently affordable housing stock. It offers the deepest affordability in North Chaffee outside of LIHTC projects. So we are very proud of the affordability level achieved with the help of this HDG funding. The project averages 85.5% AMI, and it offers 12% of the units at 60% AMI and below. As you all know, partnering with mission-minded local developers is a critical means to addressing the housing crisis at a scale that fits our rural community. And we're confident that the Crossing Apartments will provide secure housing for families and seniors and will become a true stabilizing force in Buena Vista, strengthening the community overall. We look forward to stewarding the project through its affordability period, and I'll pass it to our mission-minded partner, Paul.
Good afternoon. I'm Paul Andrews, and I live here in Buena Vista. The Crossing is a 16-acre residential development in the town of Buena Vista. By partnering with the Chaffee Housing Trust and the Chaffee Housing Authority, we've been able to commit that 50% of the 114 homes in the first phase will be permanently affordable. The project was awarded a $2 million More Housing Now grant and $3 million THLF loan for public infrastructure, which we will be able to complete this month. We're also close to delivering the first 14 homes to the Chaffee Housing Trust and their qualified buyers by the end of this year. This apartment building is an essential part of our project. We were proud to receive the Prop 123 Equity Award earlier this year, as well as an AHIP loan from First Southwest Bank. This HDG award will complete our capital stack, making the project and its affordability levels possible. Thank you.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute button. Do we have any questions on this project? Ryan Jones.
Hi, thank you. This looks like a great project, and I just wanted to ask about the 80 and or 90% and 100% AMI rent levels. It looks like the difference to achievable market is 3 and 4%. Just wanted to know if you have any concerns about that.
With the demand that we currently see in the market, Ryan, we really don't. We believe there's more than enough demand to lease up those units. And in spite of the market study, I think the discount could be significantly more than that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, we will move on to the next project, which is the Jetwing Flats, and Erin McNabb is going to introduce the project.
Good afternoon.
My name's Erin McNabb, and I am the Housing Development Specialist for the Southeast region. Commonwealth Development Corporation of America is requesting $1 million in HDG funds for the development of Jetwing Flats. This is Commonwealth's second project in partnership with Solid Rock Community Development Corporation. Jetwing Flats will consist of 68 units between 30% and 80% of area median income. Although this project is not a permanent supportive housing project, the developer is committed to helping residents increase stability. To this end, they are partnered with Family Promise of Colorado Springs to provide case management services and Southeast Colorado Springs Community Investment Trust for financial literacy assistance. The project was underwritten by Ashley Hertzler, and the asset manager is Lucas Killiman. Presenting today are Ted Goldsman and Nikki Kern, who have called in due to some issues with their servers. Ted and Nikki.
Thanks, Aaron. Can you guys all hear me? Awesome. Well, I appreciate everyone's time today. As Aaron mentioned off the top, this is Commonwealth's second project in partnership with Solid Rock Community Development Corporation. Currently, our project ability at Solid Rock has a 402-person wait list, showing the current demand for another project in Southeast Colorado Springs. As always, Commonwealth and Solid Rock's Community Development Corporation's development philosophy is to include every AMI level from 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 80% of AMI units. However, it is noted that our 80% units are marked down to 70% of AMI rents, and this is to ensure that we can capture the vast amount of renters while ensuring affordability, renting at the 70% level. Nikki?
Yeah, so the Jetwing Flats project is located in the Jetwing Corridor, which is an area that the city of Colorado Springs identified as a area for reinvestment in new housing opportunities. So it's been really cool to work with the city. It's this specific area of Southeast Colorado Springs has been historically underserved, as well as you can tell by the 400-person wait list from our previous project. There's just a really strong demand for affordability in this area. It's got a lot of great proximity to amenities. It's close to a bunch of schools, grocery stores, parks. There's multiple bus stops along Chelton Jetwing Road. It's a really convenient location for a family project and working residents. So we've worked super closely with the city to make sure that our project aligns with their broader vision for revitalizing the area, and just making sure that we're supporting long-term stability in the neighborhood. We also did some initial feedback on design with local neighbors to ensure that it reflects actually what the community wants to see. So our unit mix was not only directly informed by what we learned from them, but what we learned from our previous Colorado Springs project and the partnership with Solid Rock CDC. So yeah, we're really excited for this project, and we thank you for your time.
Do we have any questions on Jetwing Flats? Okay, we will move on to the next project, which is Kite Route Crossing with Pamela Gibson.
Thank you, LaDon. Hello, I'm Pam Gibson, the Housing Development Specialist for the North Central region of Colorado. I'm pleased to present Kite Route Crossing, a 50-unit apartment building for older adults in the town of Superior in eastern Boulder County. This infill property will be the first affordable housing development in Superior. You might remember that the December 2021 Marshall Fire burned approximately 1,000 structures and limited housing options in this town. The developer is Penrose LLC, a national company in business for more than 50 years. They specialize in real estate development and multifamily property management. They are requesting $1.65 million in housing development grant loan funds. This property was awarded 9% tax credits in 2025. Penrose plans to acquire the property and close on financing in March 2026, with construction scheduled for completion in August 2027. Drew Stackhouse was the project underwriter. And with that, I would like to introduce Shannon Cox Baker and Brad Weinig with Penrose.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Pam. I don't believe Shannon is able to join us today, but again, my name is Brad Weining with Penrose, representing Kite Route Crossing in the town of Superior in front of this board today. I do want to thank Pam and Drew both for their efforts in working with us on this project throughout. It's been very great to work with them. As Pam mentioned, Kite Route Crossing was awarded tax credits, 9% in state credits earlier this year, to develop 50 units of new 100% electric, high quality senior housing right in the middle of a kind of vibrant downtown part of Superior, where walkability and transit access are kind of are key, providing, you know, high quality units, washers and dryers included, covered parking, as well as the standard amenity package, indoor, outdoor space. We're very proud of the design and the project that we've worked through. Pam is right to mention the Marshall Fire that devastated, you know, Superior and surrounding communities just under 4 years ago. It's very much still in the ethos of the town to make sure that they're doing everything in their power to ensure that people who were impacted, were displaced by that fire, are able to move back in. And so, as much as we've been working with the planning department, we've been working with the disaster recovery and resiliency office for the town of Superior as well. We're heartened by the unanimous and consistent support that we've seen from the town council, starting with a plan development amendment to kind of make this a use by right about 1.5 years ago, and then a package of development and impact fee waivers totaling about $750,000 earlier this year, and then most recently a now recorded final development plan. So now we are in for permits. And as Pam mentioned, I'm hoping we can actually beat the time frame that Pam mentioned. I'm hoping we can even close but perhaps by the end of this year and start construction in January, so that we can make sure that this much needed asset is delivered to a community that needs it by the summer of 2027. So again, thank you all. Thank you, Pam, for your efforts on this. Happy to answer any questions.
Do we have any questions? Okay, we will move on to the next project, which is Ravenfield in the city of Brighton, and Matt Long is presenting this one.
Surprise, everyone. This is Wayne McClary. I am
surprise,
subbing
yeah.
in for Matt. So I'm the Housing Development Specialist, Urban Team Manager. And I will be subbing for Matt, who's actually in class, in an important training class for the development team. Basically, I'll cover Ravenfield, Switchgrass Crossing, and then end with Emporia duplexes. Ravenfield is a 46-unit new construction rental project. It's located in Brighton, actually right next door to a church. The 46 units consist of 1 and 2 bedroom units, serving adults 62 and older, at AMIs range from 30 to 60%. Brighton Housing Authority is the applicant. That we've had a lot of experience with them. They've done quite a few projects with us. The experienced owner, developer, and also an experienced property manager. Very experienced team. We're pleased to work with them once again. The AM on this project is Jose Mozo, and Sasha Neal is the underwriter, working together with Matt. Sasha and Matt are recommending about $700,000 from DOH, and this equates to just over $15,000 per unit, approximately about 2.8% of the $24 million capital stack. And this project is expected to close and begin construction in April of 2026. So here to give some more information on this is Deb Bristol.
Hi, thanks, Wayne. Can you hear me okay? Oh, great. Like Wayne said, I'm Deb Bristol. I'm the Executive Director of the Brighton Housing Authority. It's always great to get in front of the Housing Board and present our projects. A lot going on in Brighton over the last several years, and we're especially excited about this project because of the expedited processes that really have gotten us to this point within 3 years of starting conversations with the church. We see this as very potentially a case study on how strong partnerships and community engagement can really make projects possible in the communities that we work in, live in. One of the cool things that we really focused on in Brighton and as the Housing Authority is investing a significant amount of money into creating relationships with individuals and households that live around this property. We've met with them several times. And because of that, we've garnered quite a bit of support, and going to City Council through this whole process have felt a lot of support from the local jurisdiction to make this project a reality. Several things leading into what we like to think of as this project as being a case study for making affordable housing happen quickly is we really made sure we were coordinating with the local jurisdiction on utilizing land that had been vacant for a while, which really aligns with our comprehensive plan. Another thing that we really think is speaks highly of the Housing Authority is that we've invested a significant amount of money in partnership with the Adams County to acquire the land. And we truly believe that building those relationships with the neighborhood, the local jurisdiction, and the county has led to such this quick turnaround from conception to breaking ground in April of 2026. Another thing that we're very proud of here at the Housing Authority that we'll be integrating into this project as well is a services model that we've seen a lot of success with at our Hughes Station project, which GOH has been supportive of, and we're very grateful to have gotten that project going and looking to close or finish up rehabilitation on that shortly here in the next few months. This services model really focuses on the Housing Authority coming to the table and funding services internally, so that any of the services and the facilitation that we're doing with local partners within the city and the county to provide services to our properties and our residents is very adaptive. We truly believe that the approach to services needs to be taken in a holistic fashion, and by integrating internally our services department and funding that on an annual basis and not relying on the project itself, we've been able to not only maintain the services staff because they are part of the integrated part of the Housing Authority, but we're able to evolve and adapt quickly with resident needs. I've got Julie Stern on with me, and she will be talking real briefly on the project's readiness to proceed.
Yeah, thanks, Deb. Julie Stern with GL Development Advisors. We are a consultant helping the Brighton Housing Authority develop this project. As Wayne mentioned, we're moving quickly towards closing in April of 2026. We've been benefiting from the strong partnership that BHA has developed with the city, as well as the city's commitment to affordable housing. We have a dedicated affordable housing planner who's been great support, and we have our funding commitments in place. We've really pushed to design a resilient design. Prior to our tax credit application, were able to identify over $500,000 of savings in our construction budget, and we are well prepared to close quickly and get these units online. Thanks, Deb.
Sorry, any questions? I kind of forgot I was chairing the meeting for a minute. No questions? Okay, we will move on to Switchgrass Crossing, which is also Wayne.
Okay. Switchgrass Crossing is a 45-unit new construction rental project in Fort Collins. This is actually going built on an existing parking lot site as a parking lot just south of the Mason's Place, which was developed by Housing Catalyst. Complex consists of 1 and 2 bedroom units, serving anywhere from 30 to 60 AMI seniors. And the developer in this case is Volunteers of America National Services, VOA. Very experienced applicant. They've been around for, looks like 100 years. And we've had quite a bit of experience with them in some rental and as well as PSH projects. The applicant's requesting about 995,000, and working on this project, that'll be about $22,000 per unit, approximately about 4% of the $25 million capital stack. The asset manager in this case was Andy Casca, and the underwriter was Lisa Blakeney, working with Matt Long. They got a recommendation of 995 million, and looks like their expected closing is about February 2026. Here's Doug Snyder with the possible assist if needed from Laura Clark to present the project.
Good afternoon, Division of Housing, State Housing Board, and staff. I'm pleased to present to you another exciting Colorado project, beautiful Fort Collins, sponsored by Volunteers of America. Starts off with Fort Collins and Cadence. About 5 years ago, we developed the 55-unit Cadence with 9% tax credits. It opened in early 2022. It's been very successful. The development and execution was smooth. It's financially performing well. It was very well received from the city's perspective. Resident satisfaction is high. It has a wait list of plus 400 people. So we began a search for another site to follow up Cadence, and we found a great infill TOD site that Housing Catalyst owns right next to Mason Place. It's a high mobility site, transit, biking, and pedestrian. Has a 98 pedestrian score. The land, we have it under contract below market pricing. And as I mentioned, we have a friendly seller and the zoning in place. So it's an encore to Cadence. This is another 9% LIHTC to follow up Cadence to meet the growing demand for high quality senior housing in Fort Collins. Our design is with Shopworks, all the trauma-informed design with dignity work. We've been surveying our complexes as they've been built the last 5 years. So again, we surveyed our residents, and all that input has been put into this building. High energy efficiency, all electric, solar PV, pursuing EGC and zero energy ready home certs. We've had strong support from the city across the board following up Cadence. The majority of other projects currently development in Fort Collins are family. So VOA is one of the few active senior LIHTC developers in Fort Collins. Regards to the feasibility of the project, the current plan is very efficient. The unit sizes, it's 4-story stick frame, 2 elevators. Hopefully that'll be 1 elevator in the near future, and surface parking. We are able to provide 11 30% AMI units, 11 40% AMI units without an operating subsidy, which is excellent. The demand is insatiable with those lower AMI units, as you all know. We'll gain some operational efficiencies. We have 2 properties within 4 miles of the site. One is only 1.5 miles away to the west. The project aligns, we believe, with the Division of Housing and VOA's goals. We want to expand our mission to serve vulnerable populations through smart growth. Where we already have a presence, can optimize operational efficiency in a highly energy efficient building at a great location. We want to continue to have an impact through strategic partnerships with other mission-driven organizations such as Housing Catalyst to fill a growing need for high-quality senior housing in a strong market. And we request approval of the Switchgrass Crossing funding application. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on this project? Candace?
Yes, thank you, LaDon. I had a quick question on the concern listed on page 71, where it talks about the project's viability still being assessed. Can someone speak to that, what that will entail and what time frame that will require?
I saw that comment too, Candace, and I didn't really totally understand that comment.
Wayne, is that something you can answer?
Wayne, you're on mute.
Say that again. What page were you looking at that comment?
Page 71, under the concerns. it says DOH is providing a grant, but the project's viability still needs to be assessed. And I was unclear what that meant as far as what that entails and what time frame that might take.
Oh, that was looking at basically essentially on this project, we had a 25-year payback on the deferred developer fee. And so essentially we were just waiting to get the final verification from their lenders that deferred developer fee payback period was okay. The indications that we got from the developer themselves was fine, but at the time when we were doing our review committee, we had not had that yet completed that assessment. So
Okay.
that's something we're waiting to get verification.
I would just add, we did execute our LOIs with our debt and equity partners after the initial application went in. So
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that clarification.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next project. We have Tapestry LIHTC, and Joel Pavelis will be presenting.
And Joel is out of town this week through Thursday. So I am substituting for Joel as well. So
Okay.
hopefully I won't put you all to sleep with my voice this afternoon.
I know we get to hear from you quite a bit.
For once. Tapestry is basically going to be 72 affordable housing units in Denver's uptown neighborhood. This is an area where we've seen housing costs have risen sharply for the last few years. Development will provide access to bus and light rail transit, of course, employment schools nearby. It's a very experienced developer, Gorman, which is led by Kimball Krangle, who's the market president. This particular project stands out from the fact that of these 72 units, 32 units or 44% will be 3 and 4 bedroom units. So that's quite a bit, helping out families quite a bit there. The property will also include a health clinic, uptown clinic, and have access to an early learning center, Mahi Early Learning, on the ground floor. Hope Communities is offering some resident services. These services will include housing stability, eviction prevention, assistance, economic mobility, and employment readiness programs, as well as health and wellness resources, community building, and newcomer integration. The asset manager of this project was Andy Casca, and the underwriter is Drew Stackhouse, and working with Joel, the recommending for the recommendation there. To give further information on this, closing is expected to be in October 2025, and complete the expected completion in April 2027. To give some more information is Kimball Krangle to present.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. With Gorman and Company, I'm excited to talk a little bit about our partnership with the Colorado Health Foundation for the Tapestry LIHTC, as Wayne just described. The 72-unit project is the culmination of a partnership with the Health Foundation and their efforts to champion health and well-being for every Coloradan. In addition to their partnership, which includes the contribution of land for this site, as well as an adjacent parking area that we will lease, they're also offering a cash flow subordinated loan. The project will also leverage support from the City of Denver, CHAFA, and Raza Development Corporation to create this 9% plus state LIHTC project. Wayne otherwise gave us a great synopsis, so I'm here to answer any questions. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Candace.
I just have a quick question as an update to the concern on page 79 with the compliance issue. Can someone speak to that, and has it been resolved, or what the situation is currently?
Absolutely. This is Tracy Casano. Do we have our asset manager on for this deal? Or Ariel, do you want to hop in and speak to that? Otherwise, I'm happy to do so. Okay, I guess that falls to me. So I'm Teresa Casano. I'm the director of the Office of Housing Finance here. So, we had a couple other federal awards for this grantee borrower. they have been responsive. We had some issues, so we do feel like Gorman is actively working to resolve these, but we didn't want to leave it off of the pro-con. Candace, are there any specific questions that I can help answer for you on that?
No, I was just concerned that if we weren't able to address the issues and something would to perpetuate and carry forward, that maybe we needed to be a little more aware, but it sounds like we're working on a solution and mitigation of that.
Absolutely. And we'll say Gorman has been an active partner. Also, what gets us comfortable here, these are state funds, not federal funds. So the burden of compliance is a little lighter and a little better matched to this deal. But thank you.
Thank you.
And I believe that
Any other
finding
questions?
was cleared
Go
up
ahead.
just last week. So I think in real time, we're in good shape and in compliance. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. Moving on to Park Avenue Apartments. That will also be Wayne.
Okay. Park Avenue Apartments, this is project from Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. I'm sure you've all heard of that organization. Basically, they're looking at the permanent supportive housing unit, approximately 60 units of permanent supportive housing in Denver. And this will be basically for $3.6 million of Proposition 123 PEH grant funds. These project is supported with 60 state-supported vouchers as opposed to federally funded vouchers. The site, CCH acquired this site, which is an old La Quinta Hotel and an Old West Pancake House in December 2021. And they did that acquisition using our Operation Turnkey funding. So if you see the letters OTK on the PROCON, that's what it stands for, Operation Turnkey. This property currently serves as a temporary non-congregate shelter that will transition to permanent housing, and looks like their schedule is to do that in early 2026. Basically, the redevelopment is to prevent the default and also preserve the site for affordable housing use. Overall, this looks like it's going to be an all-electric building. The asset manager in this project is Maya Contreras, and the underwriter is Lisa Blakeney, of course, working with Joel to provide the recommendation for $3.6 million. And here to present are Katie Bonomo and Max Labarsky.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you, Wayne, and good afternoon, State Housing Board. So good to be here again. First, I'm Max Labarsky with Colorado Coalition for the Homeless. I want to thank Wayne and Joel and Lisa and really everyone at DOH in front of the scenes and behind the scenes for helping us make this project a reality. And thank you, Wayne, for that wonderful summary of the project. Just a few things I wanted to highlight. This 60-unit, one-bedroom apartment complex will fill a critical need in our region and be targeting individuals experiencing homelessness using the state housing voucher resource, which is administrated by Zach Schaffner and his group over at DOH. So it's really a great project. We're proud to be designing this with Davis Partnership, a nationally recognized architect firm with specialties in trauma-informed and dignified design principles, and we are excited to bring that to reality and to light in this project. This is a great site near the 41st and Fox Light Rail Station, and also near some regional bike trails, which are great for our residents and our prospective residents. We'll be providing eco passes to all of our residents to take advantage of the proximity to light rail and transit. And then I just want to say we also could not do this project without the wonderful support from the City and County of Denver, who is also providing financial support to the project. And the project has benefited greatly from the Affordable Housing Review Team, or AHART, review of the project. And we are on track and scheduled to close here in March of 2026. So thanks very much. And I'm here for questions as well as my colleague, Katie Bonomo from CCH. Thanks.
Do we have any questions? Ryan.
Hi, thanks. Thank you for doing this. I know that supportive housing deals are getting more difficult as we move along with everything else. But had a quick question. I saw that I think the congressional funds about 4.1 million. And I think you said that the project is currently occupied. Is that correct?
The building is used as non-congregate shelter, as Wayne mentioned, sort of through the Operation Turnkey program. That's scheduled to wind down at the end of this year, actually. The funding commitments for that program winds down. So that'll wind down, and then our project will begin in March of 2026.
Okay. And so the URA is not triggered, or if it is, I assume you've addressed that already.
We have addressed it.
Okay. Very good. Well, thanks again for doing that.
Thank you.
Okay, this was probably in the packet, but our packet was really long this time. So you mentioned it was all electric. Is there any solar involved in the project? Sorry, when I'm sharing the meeting, I can't keep track of my packet as well.
Yeah, no problem. Just a slight maybe edit of Wayne. It's going to be electric ready project, but it will have PV solar on the rooftop.
Okay, great.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to the next project, which is Nooch, am I saying it right? Village?
Very close. Nooch Village.
Nooch Village, and James Russell is presenting.
Hello again, and thanks, LaDon. I was almost a bookend for this presentation section, but alas, I think they needed somebody to break up Wayne's presentations for the day. But I'll keep this short and sweet. I'm excited to introduce Nooch Village to the State Housing Board today. The town of Granby is seeking funding from DOH to support the development of 7 modular interior triplex units. This development is part of a larger project, Nooch Village, which will consist of 228 units across 2 phases, all of which are deed restricted into perpetuity. Initially, the town of Granby planned for all of its townhomes to be priced at 120% of the area median income. However, after discussions with the community, the town decided to use its DOH's Prop 123 program to lower the entry point to 100% AMI. This change aims to provide housing options for a wider range of Granby residents, particularly first-time homebuyers. Currently, there is already significant interest in this unit. Currently, there is already significant interest in these units, with 5 of the 7 available being pre-sold to residents earning below the 100% AMI threshold. DOH staff recommends a funding award of $539,000 for construction costs and site improvements, which will help lower the costs for home ownership units. This project was underwritten by Sasha Neal, and the asset manager is Bailey Tichy. And thank you all for your time. I'm also here to introduce Nicole Schaffer. Nicole, please take it away.
Thanks, James, Fallon, and the DOH team. I think that Granby is one of those examples of how we've had this influx of rural resort communities seeing purchases from second homeowners and investors. We unfortunately suffered from debilitating wildfires. And because we are a small town, we haven't seen that reflux of new construction due to raising costs and lower availability of labor. Because of that, our town is absolutely suffering from that same housing crisis that many of you are addressing today. We are thrilled that we get to share a little bit about Nooch Village, Nooch being the word for mountain people of substance and meaning, with this team, and we'll continue to work with DOLA and Division of Housing moving forward. As background, in 2008, the town was deeded this 28.6 acre parcel with the understanding this would become affordable housing. That is the only purpose that's allowed on this parcel. Nooch Village will be the first deed restricted community in Granby, and only the second in Grand County. At $78,000, which is the AMI for 100%, the 100% AMI for the town of Granby, we are now, with your help, being able to offer the opportunity for home ownership for our essential workers. As background, Nooch Village is being developed by the town. That is an atypical approach to affordable housing, but that was the only way that we could find our pro forma penciling out. On top of that, the town of Granby was so committed to this project, they gave themselves a $5 million line of credit from our unrestricted general funds to underwrite the initial construction of the Nooch Village townhomes. We also are providing essential services for Niche Village to ensure that the HOA payments will continue to be low. We'll take care of the common areas. We are removing snow and are truly committed to ensuring Niche Village continues to provide that affordable and quality community that we know that our workforce is really desperate for. I also wanted to make sure that I mentioned that we do have two very important partners in this work. The first is our general contractor. Big Valley Construction is known in Grand County for being the thought leader and the expert in affordable housing. And a lot of our most important community projects in affordable housing have been spearheaded by Big Valley Construction. We also are using modular construction for this project. Videra Modular will be providing the boxes for our townhomes. We are grateful that we have had an ongoing relationship with Videra even before they started their own manufacturing facility, and for 20 years have seen the success of the modular model work in Granby. And the idea that we can apply this to Niche Village is just so exciting for us. What you'll see in the financials is that we really, when you take out all of the generous grant money that you and others have provided this project, can produce these homes for about $396,000 at break even. With your support today, we can drop that price down to $318,000, taking it from 120 to 100% AMI and providing a wonderful quality home in a community that our workforce is excited to live in. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest in Niche Village and for the support you have provided affordable housing projects throughout Colorado.
Any questions? I do have one. So it looks like Granby has not done many deed restricted housing. Tell me about how you are going to handle that process and make sure people really understand that they're purchasing in a deed restricted area.
It's a wonderful question. Thank you for bringing that up. We have invested in community education since 2022 to ensure people understood what the concept of deed restriction means to workforce and have been very clear about the primary residency, the asset and income limitations. We also have partnered with Summit Housing Group. You may be familiar with Summit Housing Group out of Bozeman, Montana, who have really been an expert in low and middle income housing. They're going to help us as we get up and running with Niche Village and as they prepare for their low income housing apartments that will be coming online within the next 9 months. So we've captured their expertise and are hoping that through this partnership, we'll be able to serve rental incomes as low as 3% and then for sale incomes at 100%.
Okay.
But we agree that expertise is critical to ensure that we are compliant and we're serving the populations that we intend to serve.
Well, and just making sure that they understand it impacts their equity that they have in the home when they go to sell.
Yes.
So they're not over improving or things like that because their equity is limited.
Right. Well, and we didn't include any details on the Niche Village housing guidelines, but the two things that I'll add to that comment, because it is incredibly well informed, is that one, we have allowed for our homeowners to make a small equity every year. Our vision is that we will continue to support households as they continue through the housing continuum. And we believe that making a small 2 to 3% equity every month will allow them, or every year will allow them to do that. The second thing that we've done is we've created a housing committee of 3 people that could approve capital improvements. And based on that approval, they would get some of that investment back based on a sliding scale over 5 years.
Okay, great. And then also these are townhomes. So will these be part of an HOA as well?
They will be part of an HOA.
Okay. And does the HOA cover the roof or will that be the homeowner's responsibility?
The HOA will cover the roof and the as-built patios, as well as the exterior, so painting. Because it is shared party walls, we felt that was the right thing to do. Even with that, we anticipate that the HOA payments will be $85 a month, which reflects that commitment with the town to cover many of the most expensive expenses like or the highest expenses like snow removal and grounds maintenance.
Okay. And you've checked into insurance for the HOA already?
We have, yes.
Okay. Because it's a little crazy out there.
It is a little crazy out there. I think that was one of the reasons why the town was so invested in making sure that we could provide our workforce as a way to offset those higher insurance costs.
Okay. Great. Thank you. Any other questions? Sorry to grill you so much.
No, you're good. Thank you. It's all exciting. Nobody on this call will say that I'm ever quiet. So thank you. I appreciate that.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to our next project, Emporia Duplexes, and we are back to Wayne.
Okay, last one from me today. Emporia Duplexes is a homeownership project located in Aurora, Colorado. It's a couple blocks east of the very popular Stanley Marketplace, and also just south of the redeveloped Central Park neighborhood in Denver and Aurora, actually. The full development will include 6 duplexes for a total of 12 units. 4 of these units have already been completed. So this application is for the 8 units that have to still be completed. These will all be 3-bedroom townhomes. The applicant, of course, is Elevation Community Land Trust. We've really experienced them. Adam Berger is the builder of these units. On this project, the asset manager is Brittany Bell, and the underwriter is Drew Stackhouse, and worked with Matt Long to make this recommendation. And now to present some additional information on this Prop 123 grant request is Robin Hickey and Steph Kafanchi and Robin Hickey from ECLT.
Hi, everyone. I'm Robin Hickey, the CFO with Elevation Community Land Trust, a local nonprofit that's dedicated to creating affordable homeownership opportunities across the state. Thanks so much to Wayne and to the CDOH staff for all their efforts in underwriting this project, which is small at 8 units, but a little bit complicated, and to State Housing Board for giving us the opportunity to present today. As Wayne mentioned, this project is located in Aurora, adjacent to the Stanley Marketplace and the Central Park neighborhood, consisting of 12 modular duplexes delivered in 3 phases of 4 units each. Homes in the first phase delivered in late 2024 and are now owner occupied. And we're seeking $530,000 in funding to complete the remaining 8 units. We're completing the project in partnership with Adam Berger Development, and the project has faced significant cost overruns due to stormwater detention, drainage, and sidewalk requirements from the city of Aurora, which Adam or I would be happy to review with you in more detail during the question period if you would like. The city's providing financial support for the project via an ARPA grant, but the grant that they're able to provide based on their available funding doesn't cover the full cost of sort of these extraordinary things that we had to add to the project to make it viable. So the CDOH funding will enable Elevation and Adam Berger to complete the project and make these units available to families at or below 80% AMI. All of the units are large. They're nearly 1,800 square feet, 3-bedroom family-sized homes, and they'll bring much needed affordability to a rapidly gentrifying neighborhood. It's worth noting that the larger square footage, as you'll see in the package, has resulted in variances from the DOH ranges, which are generally sized for smaller square footage homes or for projects with a wide variety of unit sizes, where it might be averaged down. But each of these 8 homes is close to 1,800 square feet, which is, alongside the extraordinary costs, part of the main reason for the variance from those DOH ranges. Also just want to address the marketability of these units. It's no secret that the Colorado real estate market is facing headwinds at the moment across the board. But that said, we're really confident that we have a strong buyer pool for these. The units in the first phase sold really quickly. They were marketed on the MLS prior to having their certificates of occupancy to build interest and excitement and get people excited about the project generally. That did extend the average days on the market to 90 days, as is noted in the packet, as we generally find that our home buyers prefer to be able to walk through their completed units before going under contract. But once we did get those COs, those sold really quickly. Looking forward, we have a wait list of 9 buyers for the next 8 homes already. We have a robust marketing plan under development to target additional qualified buyers as the units come online. The project is shovel ready. ready to get going tomorrow if approved by the State Housing Board today. And we're really excited to move it forward to increase affordable homeownership opportunities in this really high amenity neighborhood. So thank you so much for your consideration, and I'm available to answer questions alongside our CEO Stefka and our developer Adam Berger.
Do we have any questions? Okay, well, I have one. So it looks like one of the concerns is that you've requested 2 contract extensions under both Ketcher and Chestnut Lofts. Why do you feel those units took a while to sell, and do you think these will sell quickly?
Yeah, I would say that the thing that we're learning, we're a relatively new organization. So other than our 92 unit La Tela project, which delivered in 2021, the Burrell and Birdwhistle / Ketcher are our 2 largest projects to date, with 49 units at the Burrell and 54 units at Birdwhistle, delivering at essentially the same time across both projects. And so I think we're just learning a lot about the sell-through rate on our projects and how long we need to plan for that tail. We have had great interest in both units, or in both projects. Units are selling at a pretty steady pace. It's just a little bit slower than what we had originally projected when we first penciled the projects back in 2022, when the market was really quite a bit different than it is now, both in terms of interest rates and just the general economy.
Yeah, 2022 was amazing.
It was a good time. But with this, these units are going to be delivered 2 at a time as they're available. And so we don't anticipate sort of that huge chunk of project or of units all delivering at once, which is really what impacts that sell-through rate. I think with the units delivering 2 at a time as they're ready, we don't anticipate having those same challenges here.
Okay, and it looks like you're targeting a sales price of $350,000, which is a great sales price. What does the interest rate look like? It might be in here, but I don't see it quickly.
Yeah, we have 11 approved lenders that we partner with, and they offer a pretty wide range of interest rates. We have 2 lenders that actually offer below market rates for our buyers. So as low as 5.375 right now, which is a really terrific rate, as well as lenders who are more in line with market, which is about 6.5 right now. This was underwritten to, I have to pull up the spreadsheet, but we are offering an interest rate buy down. Paid for by Elevation from philanthropic capital that we have raised to help increase the hopefully potential sales time and ensure continued affordability. So we underwrote this one at 6.5, which included that rate buy down.
Okay.
And that was based on DOH guidelines. We are hopeful that it'll be lower than that with the buy down by the time these are available and ready to sell.
Yeah, because right now I think it's low 6s.
Yes, low to mid 6s. And then I think the DOH policy is a percentage point greater than some metric at the time of application. And so I think it's actually trended down since we put our application in, which is great.
Yeah, this is Teresa again, Director of OHS. We're trying to be a little bit conservative given the market volatility here. So we're looking at what's the market at the time of application plus a little bit of buffer. Unless folks can show us they have committed financing from XYZ, they can drop our underwriting. So in a case like this, where we know the borrower has connections, grantee has connections to lenders, we're hoping that this is appropriately conservative given market volatility, though obviously a lot has changed since 2022, as we've said.
Okay. Yeah, I just have a couple of listings in that area bordering Central Park, and they certainly are not flying off the shelves. So just wanted to make sure that the interest rates would be competitive.
Definitely.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to what's next. We are moving on to scattered site home ownership NOFA funding recommendations. So we will start with Elevation Community Land Trust, and Brittany Bell, are you the one presenting?
I sure am.
Excellent. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time this afternoon, State Housing Board. My name is Brittany Bell. I'm a housing asset manager with the homeownership team. And just to give a little background on the scattered site NOFA, it is a new initiative designed to provide a more flexible application pathway for agencies implementing scattered site homeownership models. The program will provide funding to entities working in various jurisdictions for the acquisition and development of homeownership opportunities across the state. So to start with, we have Elevation Community Land Trust with their scattered site homeownership program, which will include the acquisition and rehabilitation of 48 scattered site units across the state of Colorado. It's anticipated that all units will be acquired and sold within a 2-year period. And then all ECLT homes will be made permanently affordable, utilizing their 99-year ground lease or deed restriction. If approved, this will be ECLT's third scattered site contract with DOH. And staff recommends partial funding of $3,792,000 to support ECLT's scattered site acquisition project. And at this time, I will open it up to Robin and Stefka once again, if you would like to speak on your scattered site project.
Yeah, thank you so much for that overview, Brittany. My name is Stefka Fanchi. I am the president and CEO of Elevation Community Land Trust. And we are actively working in more than 15 communities across the state of Colorado in a model that is looking to expand into communities seeking a platform for permanent affordability. This contract represents work that we have happening, which to Brittany's point includes acquisition rehab, but also includes new construction in partnership with developers for units fewer than 30 per project. So as an example, if we have a developer that is building 44 units and 50% of them are to be permanently affordable, we will purchase those 50% of units as part of that agreement. So it's not all existing units. It is quite a few of new construction that's in partnership with developers, but still is acquisition and then sale. We're looking at affordability below 100% AMI, in many cases below 80% of the area median income, and are working in communities as diverse as Durango, Trinidad, Boulder, the Metro Denver area, and Teller County. So quite a few diverse areas there, and have this really great structure that thankful to the staff at DOH for developing, enables us to be able to move quickly in scaling this model without having to come back and apply by each project. So I think it creates a lot of efficiencies, and I'm grateful to staff for developing it. What questions can I answer for you?
Any questions? Okay, we will move on to Habitat for Humanity, which is Bailey.
Hey y'all, good to see you. For those of you who I have not met yet, my name is Bailey. I am the homeownership team lead. And so I've got a handful of projects for you today. First one that I am here to represent is Habitat for Humanity of Colorado. They have requested funding for new construction, acquisition, and rehabilitation. Habitat expects to complete 97 units within 2 years, and we've recommended $7,320,000 for partial funding. On the line, I have Karen Kallenberg, the Executive Director with Habitat for Humanity of Colorado, and Jennifer O'Keefe, Director of Grants and Loans, to talk about the project and answer any questions. You two can take it away.
Okay, thank you, Bailey. Unfortunately, Karen is sick today, so I'll be representing. So my name is Jennifer O'Keefe. I'm with Habitat for Humanity of Colorado. We're an affiliate support organization, and we work with the 23 affiliates across the state. This coming week, Habitat for Humanity International is promoting a rural rally It's a week-long initiative highlighting the need for affordable housing in rural Colorado. And in light of this initiative, I thought I'd just take a moment to provide you with some updates from local Habitat offices in rural parts of our state. One of the Rural Rally events is happening this Saturday at a home dedication in Nathrop in Chaffee County. This home received funding through our current contract, and the event will bring together community members as well as federal, state, and local officials, and it brings attention to the sometimes overlooked needs of rural areas. If you'd like more information about the event, I'm happy to share that. Although there are challenges to building in rural Colorado, local Habitat offices continue to deliver much needed affordable housing. Another example I wanted to share quickly is Habitat Vail Valley. They've drawn down funding for 18 units this year through our current contract and anticipate drawing down funding for an additional 8 by the end of 2025. That 26 total units makes a big difference in Eagle County, with a population of just shy of 55,000. CDOH funding provides a critical role for local Habitat offices in rural and urban areas alike. We really appreciate your partnership and considering our request.
Do we have any questions? Okay, we will move on to the next one, which is City of Boulder on behalf of Boulder County Regional Housing, which is also Bailey.
Thanks, LaDawn. Yes, City of Boulder, on behalf of the Boulder County Regional Housing Partnership, has requested funding for acquisition and rehabilitation. City of Boulder expects to complete 29 units within the 2 years, and we've recommended $2,088,000 for partial funding. On the line, we have Holly Hendrickson, Housing Policy Senior Project Manager, and she is available to talk about the project and answer any questions. Feel free to take it away, Holly.
All right, thanks so much for having me here today. So I'm Holly Hendrickson, City of Boulder, but representing this Boulder County Regional Partnership. We're super excited about this opportunity. So I'll just give you an overview of our partnership and then kind of the tools we're using to implement this potential funding. So Boulder County Regional Housing Partnership has been around since about 2018. And the primary goal of this partnership is to preserve 12% of our regional housing stock as permanently affordable by 2035. There's a variety of ways we're doing it as trying to achieve this goal as a region. But one of the ways we're doing it, we have established a regional compliance program. So this regional compliance program, there's 5 jurisdictions participating. And essentially, it's a way of scaling up the City of Boulder's homeownership, our affordable program, to a regional scale. So the City of Boulder has, more than 2 decades of experience, successfully implementing affordable housing, and we're trying to extend that expertise to our regional partners. So this compliance program, we've worked really closely as a region over the past few years to get, the deed restriction, the covenant is now a regional scope. We have our regional website for regional home for sales. So we've really put in a lot of effort into the groundwork to make this possible. And the funding involved with this application would just go to help acquire those homes to bring into our regional program. We're super excited about it. Us policy wonks here in the region, we've kind of been working for basically 2 years now to get this launched. And so we're super excited about potentially getting this funding to be able to kind of get the rubber meet the road and get some homes in this program.
Any questions? I do have one. So you look for existing housing stock. Do you look at just what's publicly marketed, or do you also target homes that fit your criteria of what you're looking for and look for off-market deals as well?
We'll look for off-market deals, but usually it's just what's publicly available. And yeah, we have a criteria for what we're looking for. We've done this in the city pretty successfully over the past few years. And so essentially with this funding, we're just going to be able to look at those those details with more regionally.
And since these properties are scattered all over the county, how do you make sure they stay deed restricted? We had that issue in Green Valley Ranch where properties were sold at market value later and it was a mess.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so this regional program, we as a city have been doing this successfully for a few decades now, and we haven't lost one home to the market by using a variety. If we put a note on the house, the home, so when we goes to resell, we're notified of it, and so that's kind of the way we protect those homes to make sure they stay in the program. And again, it's just we're kind of expanding it, scaling up to a regional focus using those same tools.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how do you make sure they stay owner occupied, or are they allowed to live in the house for a few years and then turn it into a rental? Because Boulder is such a rental community.
Yeah, so this is of course always a struggle. We have it in our program within the city. It's the enforcement of it. I think it's complaint based. So the enforcement happens within the city proper. So how we scale this up to the region, we are essentially, we will be taking that information, trying to resolve it as like administrative compliance wise. And if as our regional program, if we're unable to resolve it, then we'll kick it back to the jurisdiction to be more focused on like the actual enforcement. Because as this program, I mean, we can only do so much as a region. Like the enforcement can't solely happen through the city, this regional partnership. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've got a lot, especially in the city of Boulder. This is like, it comes up all the time. It is something that the staff that, the staff that runs the day-to-day program, answers the phone, they're very, very familiar with how to mitigate and manage this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, moving on to, thank you so much. Impact Development Fund, which is also Bailey. Thanks, Bailey.
Thank you. Last but certainly not least for my agenda for the day, Impact Development Fund is requesting funding for mobile home park acquisition. We've recommended $12 million for partial funding. On the line, we have Erica Madison, Chief Lending Officer with Impact Development Fund, to talk about the project and answer any questions. Erica, feel free to come on.
Thanks, Bailey. Sound cut out for me, so I just need to do a quick sound check. Can everybody hear? You're good. Great. I really appreciate it. I'm Erica Madison, Chief Lending Officer at Impact Development Fund, a Colorado-based CDFI, and I'm so excited to present this program and the significant role that it plays in housing preservation throughout Colorado. For most part, I think all of us understand when a mobile home park goes up for sale, the families who live in these communities, either by way of ownership of a unit but not the land, or renting units, can lose everything overnight. Our financing program exists for that exact moment. And utilizing these funds, we pair rapid, flexible capital with hands-on support so that communities can buy as much time as possible within the very limited scope of time that's available after receiving the notice to sell, and then acquire the land and keep these families homed. In partnership with Division of Housing, we deployed $13.5 million since June of 2024 to preserve approximately 500 homes. And then 2 of these communities actually closed last week while we were all at conference. Altogether, IDF has financed all or a portion of 12 acquisitions. That's more than $25 million in below market loans. And that results in us stabilizing the lot rents, avoiding that speculative buyer purchase, and giving residents a real voice in the future of their neighborhoods. Running this project through IDF delivers 3 critical things needed in this space. That's speed, staying power, and shared governance. Speed means we can mobilize that capital at the notice to sell stage. Staying power means we're able to fund the full arc needed, the full funding arc needed throughout that process. That's pre-acquisition due diligence, acquisition and bridge loans, post-acquisition infrastructure fixes, and of course, we do all of this in alignment with the regulatory requirements for each specific funding source. Shared governance means that every deal is embedded with resident engagement, transparency, and representation, so decisions reflect lived experience. We work in many communities that are ineligible for national financing cooperative programs, and we tailor the ownership and financing structures with the residents to preserve affordability and plan critical infrastructure improvements. Last but not least, IDF has the capacity to execute at scale. We're built on a 3-star A+ ARIS rated platform, which is an experienced lending and asset with an experienced lending and management asset team in a blended capital base alongside the state funds. Approving the mobile home park acquisition fund through IDF converts sale notices into preservation outcomes. This prevents displacement and empowers residents, and it does it one community at a time. We appreciate all of your time. Thank you, Bailey, for presenting. And of course, I wanted to give Jose a shout out for all of his expertise in managing this program with us. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? So it looks like your requested funding amount was around 20 million, just over 20 million. And we are recommending 12 million. So are you able to do what you need with 12 million? How does having 8 million less impact you?
Erica, if you don't mind, I'm happy to chime in real quick on this. LaDon, for this NOFA, we actually only had $30 million available. And so we spread it across as many projects as possible. So although we weren't able to meet the $20 million request, just want to name, we only had $30 million available for the NOFA. So we felt like almost a third was going to be able to at least get IDF continuing operating the great acquisition funds that they're already managing. And there will be future opportunities, and we're happy to work with them if they do go through funding much quicker than anticipated.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Giving someone 20 million of our 30 million would be a lot towards mobile homes. Okay, thanks, Ariel. Anyone else have any questions? Okay, moving on to the next project, which is Habitat for Humanity of Metro Denver, which is Brittany.
Hello again. Next up, we have Habitat for Humanity of Metro Denver with their Single Family Plus Dispersed Affordable Homeownership project that will consist of new construction, acquisition, and rehabilitation of 10 units across Denver. These homes will be sold to individuals and families at or below 100% of the area median income, and staff recommends partial funding of $755,000. Today we have Corey Whitaker on the call to speak further on this project.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corey Whitaker. I'm with Habitat for Humanity in Metro Denver. And before I get started, I would actually like to introduce our development partner on this, Renee Martinez-Stone with DHA, who really kind of came up with this vision. So Renee, if you would like to give us kind of an overview of what the Scattered Site Homeownership Project is.
Great. Thank you, Corey. Good to be here this afternoon. Renee Martinez-Stone with the Denver Housing Authority. DHA houses and serves 26,000 residents in 13,000 public housing and housing choice voucher units. We develop housing and we work to innovate new housing solutions. We work extensively with residents who are pursuing self-sufficiency, and many have the dream of homeownership, but are seeing access decline rapidly each year. Through our community responsive projects like the Single Family Plus ADU program and our West Denver Connector, we know well the barriers, high cost of construction, the need for land, but we're also seeing the desire of residents to invest, stay in place, and build intergenerational wealth, which has really brought our attention to this realm. as well as the powerful impact of mission-aligned partners like we have with Habitat. DHA has reviewed 1,000 units, which is 490 different sites that we own throughout the city of Denver. These scattered sites offer the potential of more than 4,000 new units that we could build in the next 10 years on the housing continuum, from ADUs as rentals to mid-density row homes and large scale. With DHA's land, with Habitat's building capacity, the Colorado Community Land Trust, and our shared commitment to preparing residents for home ownership, we feel we can deliver new homes at price points that many aspiring homeowners need. This project is just the first phase of delivering affordable homeownership units on DHA-owned land available to public housing residents and lower AMI households. So thank you for your consideration today, and I'll hand it back to you, Corey, for more project details.
Thanks, Renee. I'll just reiterate the longstanding relationship between Habitat and DHA, where we currently have different programs happening. But really, this feeds on both of our strengths. You know, DHA has this wonderful asset in these scattered site properties throughout Denver. And what Habitat's bringing is our construction expertise in developing small-scale residential construction throughout the city, our expertise in pricing and selling homes and finding homeowners and partnering with them to be successful homeowners. And then lastly, our grant compliance expertise to get these grants, to administer these grants, and to educate our homeowners on what these requirements are. And so we're excited for this first phase and hopefully many more after it. Let me know if you have any questions.
Once again, I'm struggling to look through my packet as I run the meeting. Are there any questions? So I think I have a question for staff, but hold on. So it looks like we gave Boulder 2 million, but Metro Denver is getting 755,000. Is there a reason for prioritizing housing in Boulder over the entire metro area of Denver?
I can speak to that, LaDawn. So actually, while we were kind of working through the application phase, Habitat and DHA came back to us and reduced the number of units that they intended to serve during this period. So it was reduced from 24 to 10, which reduced the amount of funding that we would be able to give for those units, since we're sitting at about 70,000 per unit. And then along with that, there were, as mentioned, there were only 30 million available. And so we really had to kind of make some tough calls in terms of where funding went per project.
Okay. Thanks, Brittany. Any other questions? Okay, moving on to Paradox Community Trust and Chris Peterson.
Thank you, LaDawn. Good afternoon, State Housing Board members. I'm Chris Peterson, Asset Manager with the Homeownership Team. Paradox Community Trust is proposing scattered site development of up to 65 units within Prop 123 opted-in areas of Mesa, Routt, Boulder, and Gunnison counties. Staff has recommended partial funding of $5,170,000 in AHOP Prop 123 funding. And we have Paul Major here to give us additional information and answer any questions.
Great. Thank you, Chris, and thank you, Housing Board and DOLA staff. We're really honored to be part of this presentation. So we're all we do is affordable, deed restricted home ownership subdivisions. And we really thought that this scattered site spoke to exactly what we're trying to accomplish, which is to scale up to do two things: increase the velocity of new homes that are being built that are affordable. And two is to, by doing that, by bending the cost curve of construction. There's a direct correlation of if you can get to scale, you can drive down the cost. So our lane is really about trying to build an affordable house, first and foremost, and then help buyers get into that house through various buyer assistance programs. We're super excited to partner with the City of Grand Junction on their Salt Flats program. So we're going to be building 48 homes, all Prop 123 ownership in that subdivision. I think it's 20 acres, and we will be building 48 Prop 123 homes for sale for the local workforce. We're also super excited to work with the City of Longmont, which is their project is called True North, and we'll be building 28 Prop 123 ownership homes there. Two things just to add to the conversation. One is we are primarily funded by foundations. So not charitable gifts, but loans, low cost loans, because we think this is at the core of trying to bend that cost curve. If we can get low cost financing, that translates to savings on the cost of the house or the sale price of the house. So about 85% of our funding for all of these projects is coming from various foundations across the state. I think it also speaks to how important this kind of work is to foundations, that they really want to get behind this and help Colorado solve this crisis that we have in affordable housing. The other is buyer assistance. And I know there's a lot of concern. We spent a lot of time talking with staff about this, is if you're going to build a subdivision, you really have to understand, are there buyers ready to go? And what buyers need a little bit of help to get across the finish line. So obviously the state down payment assistance program is critical, but we think there'll be some other ways to bring low cost mortgages to the table. In addition, we're raising local money in these communities for additional down payment assistance. And then finally, rate buy downs on mortgages. So we think we need an entire toolkit for buyers to get into these homes. Even though they're priced at 100% AMI and below, you still need that with a 6.5% market rate mortgage. It just eliminates too many people that really have the opportunity and the desire to get into home ownership. Any questions?
Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you. So we will move on to Chafee Housing Trust, which is also Chris Peterson.
Hello again. Chafee Housing Trust is proposing acquisition of 12 scattered site units within Lake and Chafee counties. One thing to note within those two counties, absolutely everyone has opted into Prop 123, so there are no excluded areas. Staff is recommending full funding of $864,000 in AHOP Prop 123 funding, and we have Reed McCullough here to give some additional information and answer any questions.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you to you all for the opportunity to present here today and to consider some funding opportunities for the Housing Trust. We're a community land trust serving rural Colorado, and so the scale of our operations and our projects tend to be much smaller than you might see in the metro areas, which can make things very difficult. In the past, we've had homeowners come to us with single-family homes interested in selling them to us for our program, and the process to get funding for those homes is so long that they eventually lost interest and moved on. We also have some smaller scale projects. For instance, there's a 4-unit acquisition that we'd like to turn into condominiums and a for sale product to our home buyers. But it's too small of a project for an individual application with the Division of Housing. And so the scattered site opportunity is a great way for us to consider multiple small scale projects and get them funded quickly and be able to compete in the marketplace. We've got a couple projects in Salida. One is an inclusionary housing project where there'll be 2 units out of 18. So again, that very small scale. And then we're also looking at funding individual park modular homes that we can put on foundations in mobile home parks that we currently own. So the scattered site model really allows us to move forward in small increments with much less risk and a much faster acquisition or construction time frame to get them to completion and get them out on the market. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Great, thank you. Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We are moving on. Oh, did we have a question? No? Okay, we are moving on to Southeast Colorado Enterprise Development, Inc. And I'm going to not do well with your name, but Tio Tenanson will be presenting.
Hello, good afternoon. It's my pleasure to be here today. My name is Tonatsin Rabal, and I am an asset manager with the homeownership team. I'm really excited to present Southeast Colorado Enterprise Development, or CSED's application. CSED is requesting $1,008,000 for a 2-year contract for new construction for households at or below 100% of AMI. They're looking to build 14 new single-family homes over 2 years in opted-in areas of Baca, Bent, Crowley, Otero, Kiowa, and Prowers counties. And staff is recommending full funding of $1,008,000. With that, I'd like to introduce Teal Hemphill and Stephanie Gonzalez of CSED, and they will talk about their program and answer any questions that you might have.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Gonzalez. SCCED, in its efforts to continue development of affordable housing in our region, has created a 6-county regional housing authority, and over the past 3 years, we've been able to complete 117 doors. Under the terms of our IGA, SCCED acts as the designated fiscal agent for the regional housing authority. So with that, I'm happy to introduce to you Teal Hemphill, who's our Housing Authority Director, and she will be the project manager for this program.
Hi all, thank you. The Scattered Site Homeownership Program is really ideal for our 6-county region that spans 300 plus highway miles across 6 counties and encompasses 31 local governments. Historically and currently, we see very few new housing developments across our region. Our prior housing phases have fulfilled needs identified in prior housing needs assessments. We have built 117 units, with the large majority of those being rental units. This next phase will help us address the need for affordable new single-family homes for home buyers. By and large, our region exists within an inverted housing market where the cost to construct is greater than appraisal values. This negatively affects potential homeowners' ability to build and rehabilitate their homes. So by utilizing the scattered site funding to buy down construction costs on what we're proposing is 14 new homes across our region, we look forward to offering those at affordable sale prices to home buyers. Our home buyers will be at 100% AMI or less, which in our area will include employees such as teachers, school personnel, medical professionals, agricultural industry workers, and government employees, among others. To highlight our project going forward, we already have 6 single-family architectural home designs ready. SCCED and the Regional Housing Authority currently own over 20 potential home sites in the region, and we are acquiring additional sites through our internal land banking efforts. We plan to utilize local builders, and we plan to partner with the Core Civic We Build program out of the Crowley County Correctional Facility, which constructs panel systems, trusses, and cabinetry that will be used in all 14 of these homes. We have applied for pre-development funding in a couple of different ways. One is through incentive funding for expedited review through the Prop 123 DOLA program. We have 13 jurisdictions currently that have requested their $50,000 award to be used toward preliminary and planning analysis activities at each site. We also have one Division of Housing pre-development application that's pending. For construction funding, we have a $1.4 million housing development fund that is a combination of funds contributed by the 6 counties. And we have also applied for a down payment assistance application with that application pending. We appreciate your consideration of our Southeast Colorado Rural Home Ownership Project, and we are happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, moving on to a new topic. we have HB House Bill 24-1237, Child Care Facility Development Capital Grant Policies and Procedures. And Aaron McNabb is presenting that. Or were we supposed to vote first?
I think it'd be beneficial to vote for the housing projects. So let those people go if that helps.
Yeah, I think that was not on the agenda, but happy to make the switch, LaDawn, if you're comfortable doing that.
Yeah, totally fine doing that. I thought I saw the votes pop up on the screen, but let's do that.
Can we advance a slide and then we'll come back? Thank you.
So go ahead, Candace.
I was going to make a motion that we approve the projects as presented today for the housing projects, not including the child care facility, but the scattered sites and other housing projects.
Can we exclude 101 West Main, Kite Route Crossing, and Ravenfield since Ryan Jones needs to recuse himself from those?
Yes, absolutely.
A separate vote on those? Perfect. Do we have a second on that?
I'll second.
Great. Motion by Candace, second by Nancy. All those in favor, say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
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 Okay. Any
This is the
opposed?
one I vote on, right? Or
This is the one you do vote on. Yes,
Okay.
Ryan.
aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Okay. And now I need a motion for 101 West Main, Kite Route Crossing, and Ravenfield to approve those projects.
I'd make that motion.
Okay, motion made by Candace. Do we have a second?
I second that.
Perfect. Monique seconds. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand. Aye.
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 Any opposed? And Ryan has recused himself from that one. Ryan Jones, not Jay Ryan. And so that is all of the votes, right, Teresa? Okay, Teresa's giving me a thumbs up, so I think we're good.
You are, thanks.
Okay, so now we will move on to House Bill 24-1237, which is Child Care Facility Development Capital Grant Policies and Procedures. So I will turn things over to Aaron McNabb.
Good afternoon. Talk to you about a different subject than I did earlier. So House Bill 24-1237 mandated 3 different programs be housed in the Division of Housing. The first program was a online child care facility development toolkit with technical assistance attached, local government planning grants, and this third program, which we are going to discuss today, is the capital grants for the development of child care facilities. So part of the statute did require to gather input from State Housing Board and just kind of see what you thought about our current policies as we've drafted them. I will let you know that most of the language in the policies and procedures is direct from the statute, as most of the policies and procedures were dictated in the statute for what that we had to follow. The other thing to let you know is that these 3 programs were given an annual appropriation of $250,000 for everything, to basically fund everything that this statute required. And so at this time, we do not have the funding to fund capital grants, as $250,000 isn't enough to even do one capital grant for a project. However, we do have to have these policies and procedures approved by November 1st. And so just kind of wanted to have you look these over, provide any comment, concerns, or ask any questions.
Does anyone have any questions? So will we receive more money in future years, that we will have money that we can distribute, or is it just we have 250,000 sitting there unusable forever?
So it's not unusable. So that $250,000 at this time has funded the development of the online toolkit, has funded so far 2 childcare technical assistance cohorts that is leading to the development of childcare facilities across the state.
Okay.
And we have just awarded and are in the process of doing contracting for 4 municipalities for local government planning grants to revise their planning processes to make sure that, it's easier to build childcare facility developments. It's because that amount covered the entirety of the programs. As for future funding, that is unknown to us at this time, what that will look like. There's, of course, hope that will be a thing down the road, but we just don't know. And with budget shortfall, at the state, we just can't say on our end. That sits with the legislator.
Okay. Candace.
I just had a quick question. In this process for the Child Care Center, it mentions the Child Care Center desert. Do we have a map of the desert and like where those gaps might be? I'm sorry, I don't know if there's one online at, DOLA or somewhere, but I just was curious so we would know maybe where to put some of our focus and attention as state housing board members. So
yeah,
maybe
so
that's not an appropriate question, but
No, I'm curious too, because definitely childcare facilities is not my area of expertise.
Absolutely. So there is a map of childcare deserts. I cannot off the top of my head tell you where that is found. It is an online map. I would actually have to go look to see where that is. And so we partnered with Executives Partnering to Invest in Children to do our technical assistance and help us with the toolkit. And I do believe there may be a map on the toolkit. I just don't remember, so it's not a map on the toolkit. It's a link to the site that put that together. And so I'd have to look to see who has compiled that information.
And Erin, I'll just note Allison O'Kelly dropped that in the chat. So thank you so much. We can also share that and a link to the toolkit after there's other questions.
that's awesome. Thank you.
I just hope it's the one you want because I haven't used it before.
I know, I Googled it and the Bell Policy Center in 2023 said almost every county in Colorado is considered a childcare desert.
Wow. Okay. Good to know. So what do we need to do on this today? Just review this procedure, and do we need to vote to approve it or not?
So you do not have to vote. This is simply for comment or questions, just to get an idea about it. I will let you know that if there is funding down the road that allows us to make these grants, the statute does require that we bring these to State Housing Board just as we would any other development application.
Oh, sorry. I got sucked into this map and I forgot I'm running the meeting. Okay. Does anyone else have any questions or comments? This map is kind of cool.
I hate to step in here, but it states upon State Housing Board review and approval.
Yeah, so I think we need
So
to.
that tells me it does need to be voted on.
So
If I can interject, Megan Yankee has researched this and she said it does not require a vote. This is Laura.
This language, though, upon State Housing Board review and approval, wasn't brought in front of me. Erin, what do you think?
Yeah, so this language was written up by my co-helper, Matt, and I did not catch that piece when we were going through it. So this was written up as just a memo. Approval is not needed, but if you would like to vote on it, we can do so. I am open to either way.
Let's just vote on it so we have it. I don't think that it's required, but just so that we can put it to bed.
Absolutely.
Okay, so do we have a motion to approve the policies and procedures for the Child Care Facility Development Capital Grant Program?
So moved. This is Candace.
Thanks, Candace. Do we have a second?
James, second.
Thanks, James. All those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any opposed? I forgot. Any opposed? Okay. Did that cover everything on the agenda, I think?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, have a
So,
great day.
meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks for the long one, guys. We appreciate